And we miss her, but we'll have Stephanie Hagel back with us in the booth in 2021. Tonight, the Indians try to get this offense kicked into high gear and back arguably the best pitcher in baseball as Shane Bieber will lead the Cleveland Indians onto the field, as Bieber has pitched better than anybody in Major League Baseball. In fact, saw a recent story that if there were votes now being taken, Shane Bieber wouldn't only be the unanimous American League Cy Young Award winner, he'd be the Major League's most valuable player, or certainly the most valuable player in the American League. That's how incredibly dominating Shane Bieber has been here in 2020. But the Indians have got to back him with some runs. Tribe just having a dickens of the time scoring all year, especially against Minnesota. The Indians 17-12. They're tied with the White Sox in second place, chasing the front-running Twins, who now have a 2.5-game lead. The Twins at 20-10. Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire tonight. It'll be Manny Gonzalez at first, Alex Tosi at second, Ron Kulpa, the crew chief, at third. Just the lightest of a breeze blowing in tonight. Won't be a factor in this game, but certainly not the kind of a breeze, what little we have, that you normally see in August. Normally it's blowing out, and we saw last night how the ball was carrying here. It will still carry tonight, but maybe not quite as well as it did last night. 325 down the lines, 370 to left center, 375 to right center, 400 to dead center. The 19-foot wall from the left field corner out to center, and then from center to the right field corner, it is 9 feet high. Shane Bieber has never lost to Minnesota. In 9 previous appearances against the Minnesota Twins, Shane Bieber is 4-0 lifetime and has a career .352 earned run average against Minnesota. And that includes a dominant performance against the Minnesota Twins back on July 30th at Target Field. Shane Bieber beat the Twins that day with 8 shutout innings of 3-hit baseball. And on July 30th, Shane Bieber struck out 13 Twins and did not walk a batter. Bieber fastball, cut fastball, curve, slider, changeup, as the 25-year-old right-hander will face Max Kepler leading off the game, the left-handed hitting right fielder, as Rocco Baldelli has put 6 left-handed bats into his Twins lineup tonight. Bieber, first base side of the rubber, takes a deep breath, winds, fires, and the pitch swung on, fouled back. And we're underway at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario, a game-time temp of 79 degrees. Blue skies, a few white fleecy clouds overhead. It is sensational again tonight. The next pitch, and it's a little bit up, and it's a 1-1 count. Bieber throws in the mid-90s. That sometimes gets lost because he's got the ability to manipulate the baseball and just pound the strike zone. The windup and the 1-1 to Kepler, swung on, fouled upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Kepler comes in batting .228, 6 homers, and 16 RBIs. Kepler, he leads off when a right-hander's on the mound. Shift employed on the right side of the Indians' infield. Now the 1-2, and it's swung on, fouled again upstairs behind the plate. And we'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Jordan Luplo's in left. Delino DeShields back in the lineup in center. Domingo Santana in right. Carlos Santana at first. Cesar Hernandez at second. Frankie Lindor at short. Jose Ramirez at third. And Roberto Perez catching. Now the pitch went with a curve down in the dirt. And Kepler almost went after it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kepler having a good at bat. What else is new? He's bombed 11 home runs in this ballpark in his young career. Deep in the box is Kepler, the pitch, and it's down and in, another curve, and the string is out. Shane Bieber's only walked 6 batters all year. That's in 6 starts. Now the UC Santa Barbara product delivers. And a swing and a miss on a curve in the dirt. Picked up by Perez, lobs it over the head of Kepler to first. Grabbed there by Santana. And he went with 3 straight curveballs and finally got Kepler to chase one. And he swung at ball 4, curveball in the dirt. So Kepler strikes out to start tonight's ball game. And here is Jorge Polanco. Switch hitting shortstop, batting left-handed. A .283 batting mark. Couple of homers, 14 RBIs. Shane Bieber in 6 starts this year is 5-0 with a microscopic 1.11 earned run average. Now the pitch, and it's in there, a called strike on a curve. Bieber in 6 starts is going 7 innings per start. He averages 14 strikeouts and 1 walk per 9 innings. Now the pitch, and it's strike 2. Bieber is only giving up 6 hits per 9 innings. He leads the American League in wins. He leads the American League in earned run average. He leads the American League in strikeouts. And 3rd in the American League in opponent's batting average. Now the 0-2. And just missed outside with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Indians are almost straight away in the outfield, medium deep. Bieber, the 1-2 pitch, and it's in the dirt, a curveball, and it's 2-2. Throwing a lot of curveballs here in the first inning to the first 2 Twins hitters. Twins can hit a fastball. Twins are averaging almost 5 runs a game, about a run a game more than the Indians. The pitch, swing and a foul at the plate. Drop to a knee to fight off that pitch. Polanco with a 2-2 count in a scoreless first inning. Keep your business operating with Ohio's expert commercial truck dealerships. Valley Ford Truck and Valley Ford of Huron are your full-line Ford Transit and Super Duty truck leaders. Now the windup and the 2-2 offering. Swung on line to left, base hit. Good at bat for Polanco. He's aboard with an opposite field single to left. And now the DH Nelson Cruz, who is sharing the American League lead with Jose Abreu, as they have both hit 11 bombs. Nelson Cruz, 3rd in the league in hitting at .340. 2nd in the league in RBIs with 27. Indians back up in the outfield, just a touch the other way toward right. He homered last night to right field. Hits deep in the box, open stance for the 40-year-old Nelson Cruz. The pitch, and it's waved at a strike. Tonight, the Twins have a couple of 40-year-olds playing. Cruz DHing, Rich Hill pitching. You don't see that very often. The lights are on this gorgeous summer night. Bieber a look over the shoulder to first. Not much of a lead for Polanco. And the pitch. And it's waved at. Slider down and away. Nothing into the count on Cruz. Nelson Cruz is 1 for 10 lifetime against Shane Bieber. Indians in the home white tonight, with the red Indians scripted across the front of the jersey. Some navy blue trim. Same color combo, Twins, gray with navy blue and red trim. The 0-2 swung on and missed, another slider. So Cruz is strikeout victim number 2 for Shane Bieber. And that'll bring up Eddie Rosario, the left-handed hitting left fielder, batting .250, 7 homers, 23 RBIs. The Indians will put 3 on the right side of the infield, and the outfield will play deep and around toward right. Runner at first, 2 down in the Minnesota first, no score. The Twins are missing 3 everyday players from their lineup. Josh Donaldson, Mitch Garver, and Byron Buxton all on the injured list. Bieber from the belt, sets, fires, and it's swung on a chopper into the shift. playing it short was Ramirez. The Indians' third baseman has an easy underhand flip to Cesar Hernandez. Swung on and lined to fairly deep center. And Wade is back to make the catch. And for the first time in 3 games, Cesar Hernandez does not homer. A line drive out to fairly deep center to start the Indians' bottom of the first. We are scoreless as Rich Hill, 6'5", 221, now 40 years of age, primarily fastball, curve, and changeup. He can throw a slider. He'll throw that eephus pitch once in a while, about a 50-mile-an-hour lollipop curveball. Jose Ramirez, switch hitter, batting right-handed. The pitch from Hill, curveball down low. Rich Hill has one of the better curveballs in the game. All right-handed hitting lineup for the Indians tonight. Hill not wasting any time. The pitch and another curve down low, 2-0. Eddie Rosario is in left field. Lamont Wade's in center, Max Kepler in right. Miguel Sano at first, Luis Arraez at second, Jorge Polanco at short, Marwin Gonzalez at third, and the youngster Ryan Jeffers catching. The next pitch is up high, 87 miles an hour. 3-0 the count. Jose Ramirez in a 3-for-30 slide. Hill into the motion. Here it comes. And it's in there, 3-1. 87 miles an hour. That's about Rich Hill's best fastball now at age 40. You can't get any further to the third base side of the rubber than Hill is. The 3-1, a curveball strike on the inside corner. Full count. Jose Ramirez batting .230, 5 homers, 18 RBIs. Now the payoff. Swung on, yanked to left. That's a base hit near the line. Rosario overcut it off. And a good at bat for Jose Ramirez. And he lines a single down the left field line. So good start for the Indians. A line drive out to center. And then a line drive base hit down the left field line. Rich Hill is only making his third start. He has had issues in that initially he was dealing with COVID, and then he had shoulder fatigue. And the other thing that he's been dealing with is the fact that he had a bad shoulder last year. The pitch and a fastball is in there, strike to Frankie Lindor. So all of that means that Rich Hill has now worked 8 innings. He's given up 4 runs on 7 hits, has struck out 3 and walked 4. Twins really counting on Rich Hill to fortify this rotation. The left-hander from the set. Runner goes, throw to first. Now Sano throws to second, and the ball may have hit Ramirez, who is in safely with a head-first slide. The ricochet was backed up by the shortstop Polanco. So Hill had Ramirez picked off. Boy, Miguel Sano took a long time to throw that ball to second base on the throw by Hill to first. And Ramirez with a head-first slide got hit by the throw and gets credit for his 7th steal in as many tries. And there again where Miguel Sano does not help you defensively. So a runner at second with no score. There he goes for third. Pitch high, throw to third, head first slide. He's in easily. Oh, my. Jose Ramirez was a third of the way to third before Hill even delivered the ball to home plate. And Jose steals second, then third on back-to-back pitches. And now the Twins, see how they play the infield with a runner at third. They know runs will be hard to come by with Shane Bieber on the hill for the Indians. And the Twins bring the infield in for Frankie Lindor with Ramirez at third, 1 out, no score in the first, and a 1-1 count on Lindor. The pitch, and he bangs one right to the third baseman on 1 hop. Gonzalez will flip it over to first. Holding at third is Ramirez. And my goodness, for Frankie Lindor, he has just not been able to deliver with men in scoring position. And that's a case there where you just needed a fly ball. I know it's easier said than done, But you really wonder at what point do the Indians get Lindor out of that 3-hole. He may be just trying to do too much. Might be better off with him back leading off. Here's Carlos Santana, switch hitter, batting right-handed. The first baseman hitting .208 with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. 2 down, no score. Ramirez is still at third. Rich Hill was out almost 4 months last year with the Dodgers with a forearm and a knee injury. The pitch, and it's a curve down low. You can hear him grunting all the way up here. And then this year, he goes on the injured list with shoulder fatigue, which that's a little bit hard to understand. 1 outing. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Up and in, a fastball, 2-0. So Twins, they've got to be able to really massage him and make sure that he can be strong for them in October. Look, the Twins are going to get to the playoffs. Now the set, now the 2-0 pitch, and it's a curveball inside 3-0. But they brought 3 vets in, Rich Hill and Kenta Maeda, both from the Dodgers. They brought in Homer Bailey, who's out with an injury. So they're not going to get a ton of X from Maeda and Hill, but they just need that stabilization. The pitch. Swung on, drill, deep left field, down the line, hooking foul. And a 3-1 count on Carlos Santana. And, of course, Rich Hill brings big game experience with the Dodgers. This is a guy that was in back-to-back World Series. He's a guy you can count on. He's not going to get phased by the moment. You just need to keep him healthy. And when you're 40 years of age, that's not an easy thing. 3-1 pitch, swung on, tapped foul, another curveball, third base side, full count.
Yeah, the Twins got to the postseason a year ago, and they were kind of limping in. They had some late-season series against the Indians where they were piecing it together with bullpen games, and well, it's a tough way to go into a series against a quality opponent in the postseason.
Shift to the left, payoff pitch, swung on, fouled. I mean, last year the Twins in Game 2 against the Yankees had a guy that was discovered in independent ball. Randy Dobnak, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball this year, but that's why they went out and got Rich Hill, Kenta Maeda, Homer Bailey. But Bailey's hurt now. And Rich Hill trying to maybe go 3-4 innings tonight. The pitch. Swung on, grounded sharply, wide of third by the diving Gonzalez, an RBI single to left. Ramirez scores, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead. And a big 2-out RBI single to left field by Carlos Santana. His 15th RBI. And the Indians do not let Rich Hill off the hook. And boy, how they have ached for a big hit with 2 outs, and Santana comes through. And Ramirez's 2 stolen bases come into play. Here's Franmil Reyes, Indians DH, batting .282, team high 6 homers, and shares the team lead and runs batted in with 18. Hill a look at first, the pitch. Reyes taking a strike on a fastball. Rich Hill is a guy, when he pitched for the Indians in 2013, he was working out of the bullpen. He remade himself at a late point in his career. The pitch swung on, foul to the left, and the count 0-2. He had a .628 earned run average with the Indians in 2013 as he worked out of the bullpen for the Tribe. He made 63 appearances that year for the Indians. And then it looked like his career was over. He was released by Washington in 2015. He was in the minor leagues, and he went to independent ball to become a starting pitcher. Think of that. The pitch, swung on, fouled upstairs, 0-2. You're 35 years old. Looks like you've had a nice run in the big leagues, but you're not ready to quit, and went to independent ball to prove to people that he could be a starting pitcher. Well, by golly, he proved it. Now the set. Now the 0-2. Swung on, drilled to deep left. Down the line it goes. It'll one-hop the wall for extra bases. On his way to second is Reyes. Oh, boy, he's out by 30 feet. Rosario with the throw to the second baseman, Arise, and Franmil Reyes ran the Indians out of the inning. A rocket down the left line, and I don't know if I've ever seen anybody throwing up. Yeah, the Indians have a 1-0 lead as we go to inning number 2, and Shane Bieber will face Miguel Sano, who hammered what proved to be a game-winning 2-run homer last night to right center. Bieber's pitch is outside the ball. Indians plant 3 on the left side of the infield. Dollar Bank and the Indians giving you a chance to win one of 3 fantastic Indians prizes now through September 2nd. Shane Bieber's 1-0 delivery, and it's low and away, 2-0. Visit Indians.com/dollarbanksweeps to enter. Sano is on some kind of tear. 8 consecutive games with an extra base hit. Now the 2-0. A swing and a miss, chased a slider down and away, 2-1. He has equaled 2 Hall of Famers and 2 of the all-time Twins greats, Harmon Killebrew and Tony Oliva. Also had 8-game hitting streaks with extra base hits in all 8. Another slider, this one down and away, 3-1. Sano in the last 8 games is not only hitting .433, but has 2 homers and 8 doubles. The pitch to him, and it's upstairs, and Bieber with a rare walk. He walks 1 per 9 innings, and Sano gets the free ride to start the second. And here is Lamont Wade, a left-handed hitting center fielder. Now, again, this is where the Twins lineup doesn't have the length of a year ago. Mitch Garver, their outstanding catcher, who last year had 30 homers, maybe done for the year with an intercostal strain. Center fielder Byron Buxton, he's hurt again, out with a sore shoulder. Wade, a left-handed hitter, and he sends a drive high and deep to right, but he hooked it foul, strike 1. And Josh Donaldson, who got the biggest contract the Twins have ever given a free agent. Boy, it's the same problem he had 2 years ago. He's got a bad calf. They have no idea when he'll be back. Meanwhile, Wade in center field tonight, 2 for 5 since coming up. The 0-1 pitch, inside a ball, 1-1. So they're not quite as dangerous as a year ago, but as we saw last night, make a mistake, and they'll still thump you. Wade is right on top of the plate. Slightly open stance. He's just daring Bieber to come inside. Chokes up an inch or 2. Bieber's pitch, and it's down low, ball 2, 2-1. Hey, to get your best deal on any new or used car, go to Sunnyside Honda, I-71 and Pearl Road in Middleburg Heights, or you can check out all of their inventory and their current specials online at sunnysidehonda.com. Bieber's ready, and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul at the plate, 2-2. Mike Clevenger will make the start tomorrow night for the Indians, and Twins ace Jose Barrios will be on the hill for Minnesota. First pitch coming your way at 7:10. Sure hope you listened to the Indians warm-up show, and President Chris Antonetti explained how that decision went down. Appreciate Chris's time again on that. The pitch, and strike 3 called. Bieber painted the outside corner with a fastball. Third strikeout for Bieber. Wade is out number 1 here in the second. And according to both Chris Antonetti and manager Sandy Alomar, the Indians players were apprised of the situation. In particular, the team leaders talked to the Indians folks that make those decisions, and everybody's on the same page. It's time now for some healing to begin and get these guys back. Pitch down low, nice pick by Perez, ball 1. It's not that Zach Plesac is being further punished. It's just that right now there's only one spot in the rotation open. And so, according to Chris Antonetti, they felt that Mike Clevenger was the best choice to make that start tomorrow night. So Adam Pletko is back in the Indians bullpen. And Tristan McKenzie does get another start this weekend in St. Louis. Now the set and the 1-0 pitch and a fastball outside, 2-0. And Chris Antonetti said the second person he talked to after visiting with Mike Clevenger was he called Zach Plesac to explain the decision. And he said, yeah, Zach is disappointed. He's frustrated, but he understands the situation. And his time is coming. Now the 2-0 pitch. There's ball 3. A little bit outside, evidently. But there's been communication between the current players and Zach Plesac and Mike Clevenger, and everybody's on the same page now. Those guys know they made a mistake. They've been apologetic for it. They've been accountable. Time to get this club back together. The 3-0 pitch. There's ball 4. And Bieber is looking in saying, how can those not be strikes? So Shane Bieber, who never walks anybody, has walked his second batter in the inning, and he's going to take a stroll with his back to home plate on the grass area behind the mound because he has not been happy with home plate umpire Chris Siegel. Bieber has not walked more than 2 in any game this year, and he's walked 2 here in the second inning. And now Luis Arraez is the batter, the left-handed hitting second baseman. As Gonzalez at first, Sano at second. Arraez hitting out of that crouch, and he takes a fastball up high for ball 1. Chris Antonetti saying that the players are ready to welcome back Mike Clevenger and Zach Plesac. And Zach and Mike have done everything in their power to get back. They've had great attitudes in their work at the alternate camp just east of here at Lake County. And so it's only a matter of time before Zach Plesac is back. But again, that'll be when there's a spot available in the rotation. So Mike Clevenger does get the start tomorrow night for the Indians. Brief meeting between Bieber and Perez. Now the pitch. Swung on, socked into left center. That's a base hit in the gap for Arraez. Around third and heading for home is Sano. Gonzalez to third, and Arraez a stand-up double. And this ball game is tied at 1 on the RBI double to left center by Luis Arraez. His third double and his 6th run batted in. And now the Twins have a chance for a big inning with runners at second and third, 1 down, and the rookie Ryan Jeffers is at the plate. Twins very, very high on Ryan Jeffers, but the only reason he's here is the injury to Mitch Garver. So Jeffers batting .273 since coming up with an RBI, right-handed hitter. And the Indians play the middle infielders back. Jeffers chops one toward third. Ramirez charges gloves. He'll throw home. And a dead pitch in is Gonzalez. He's running back toward third in a rundown. He's out of the baseline, so he is out as Lindor ran him to home plate. Going to third is Luis Arraez, and Jeffers is on at first on a fielder's choice. Good play on the charge and the scoop on the short hop at third by Jose Ramirez. And Gonzalez out trying to come home. And so the Twins now have runners at the corners, but now there are 2 men out. And top of the order in Max Kepler. Still a 1-1 ball game with Arraez at third, Jeffers at first, and Max Kepler's second at bat. Struck out his first time up as the Indians put 3 on the right side of the infield. Here's where Bieber has to be very careful. The pitch to Kepler, and it's in the dirt. Good block by catcher Roberto Perez for ball 1. Kepler batting .238, no home runs lifetime against Shane Bieber. Outfield for Kepler a bit the other way toward left, not as deep as you might think. 1-1 game, 2 down, runners at the corners. The pitch and a check on a curve in the dirt. Another good block by Perez. 2 balls, no strikes. The Blaster Corporation's based here in Cleveland and makers of PB Blaster, #1 for loosening up rusted parts. Whatever the job, always use Blaster products and work it like a pro. Bieber's ready. And the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, line to right. There's a base hit. Twins take the lead. Scoring is Arise. Jeffers will stop at second. And Kepler with his 17th RBI, 2-1. As Minnesota is able to come right back in the second inning. And after being shut out by Bieber in 8 innings in Minneapolis, Bieber with a couple of walks and a couple of hits here in the second. And that'll bring pitching coach Carl Willis to the mound as the Twins have men at first and second. 2 down, 2 runs in, and Minnesota on top of the Indians 2-1.
And the Twins able to take advantage of the walks and not chasing quite as much as they were in that first outing for Bieber in Minneapolis. And they've been able to take advantage of that here in the second inning.
So a brief visit, and Jorge Polanco will be the batter. Jorge Polanco singled to left his first time up. So Shane Bieber, who in his last outing at Pittsburgh went 6 shutout innings. The start before that, 7 shutout against Detroit, has given up 2 here in the second. And another dangerous twin at the plate in Jorge Polanco batting left-handed. The pitch, and it's in there, a called strike. That's what makes Franmil Reyes' base running mistake so critical now in the first inning, because Indians may have had Rich Hill on the ropes the way they were spanking Rich Hill around in that first inning, but Hill got out of it with a base running blunder. The pitch down and in, ball 1, 1-1 the count. Shane Bieber, in his previous 6 starts this year, 4 of them he didn't give up any runs. He gave up 5 runs total in 2 starts against Cincinnati and the White Sox. And the Twins just the 3rd team to score off Bieber this year. Now the 1-1. Swung on, bounced up the middle. Lindor has it behind second. The shortstop runs and steps on the bag at second for the ending. The Indians now trail 2-1. Bottom of the second, Jordan Luplow, Domingo Santana, Roberto Perez, 6, 7, and 8 against the left-hander Rich Hill. Jordan Luplow batting .139, has a homer, 2 RBIs. Twins overload the left side of the infield with 3. Sano, the first baseman, is halfway to second. The wind and Hill's pitch, and Luplow looks at a strike. The outfield for Luplow, straightaway and left and right. The center fielder, Wade, few steps toward right center. Hill into the wind. Here it comes. And it's a curveball for strike 2. And the Indians had 3 hits in that first inning and a line drive out, but ran themselves out of the inning. Hill works as quickly as anyone in the game. Misses with a curveball in, 1-2. Rich Hill signed up with the Dodgers as a free agent. He had a couple of really good years with them until injuries last year ended his run in L.A. Now the 1-2. Inside, 2-2. 2017, Rich Hill was 12-8. In 2018, he was 11-5. Problem is, been on the disabled list a lot. Now the pitch. Swung on, banged foul through the third base coaching box. Still a 2-2 count. In the last 3 years, Rich Hill has been on the disabled list 5 different times, and it's cost him 7 months. Back on the injured list again here in 2020. Now the 2-2. Outside, a curveball stayed. Full count. But he was in the World Series and pitching well in the World Series for the Dodgers in 2017 and 18 against Houston and Boston. Payoff pitch. Luplow takes a curve up and away, ball 4. So the Indians get the leadoff man aboard and Domingo Santana to the plate. In 3 World Series starts for the Dodgers against Houston and Boston, Rich Hill didn't have any decisions but had a 1.80 ERA and struck out 19 and 15 innings. And that's also what made him very attractive to Derek Falvey and the Minnesota Twins. Twins are thinking Fall Classic here, and rightfully so. Domingo Santana sends a line drive to right. Kepler's right there to make the shoulder high catch. That is out number 1. And Roberto Perez to the plate, batting 115 with an RBI. Rich Hill last faced the Indians 3 years ago with the Dodgers. And it was not memorable. In mid-June of 2017, Rich Hill started here against the Indians and gave up a career-high 7 runs against the Indians. Here's Roberto Perez now. 1 out, 1 on, 2-1 Minnesota. Perez takes a low curveball. Boy, there's no wondering what Rich Hill is going to throw. It's fastballs and curveballs.
And he lets you know if he didn't like the way the pitch arrived at home plate. He'd be a bad poker player.
Boy, he's one of the great guys in the game. The pitch, and it's in there, a fastball strike. Grew up in Boston and ended up in Ann Arbor at the University of Michigan. And here he is at age 40, still pitching. The left-hander with the chest-high hold throws to first, and back standing is Luplow.
Remarkable how much he's changed. He was more of a sidearm guy when he was with the Indians, and now much more over the top as a starter.
He was a left-handed specialist. The pitch, curveball high, 2-1. Go back to independent ball after you've been in the majors as long as he's been. Tells you how much the game means to him. And since becoming a starter at the tender age of 36, his record is 40-20 with an ERA of 3. I mean, that's, and a guy throwing 87 miles an hour with a great American Legion curveball.
And you could say, hey, what's the matter with Washington? Why would they ever let him go? But they didn't visualize him as a starter, so he had to go somewhere where he could prove it.
Now the 2-1 pitch, and before it's made, a throw to first, back standing is Luplow. Well, the Minnesota Twins are the 9th different team that Rich Hill has pitched for. Mentioned the Indians, but he's also pitched for the Cubs, Baltimore, Boston, the Angels, the Yankees, Oakland, L.A. The pitch, now a throw to first. They've got him picked off. This time, Sano, a good throw to second. The shortstop, Polanco, tags out Jordan Luplow. Hill's got a pretty good move. Looks like he's coming to the plate. He had Ramirez picked off, but then Sano made a bad throw. This time, Sano, a perfect throw to Polanco at second base. And Luplow is picked off for the second out. So the Indians have run themselves into 2 outs already, and we're in the second inning. Base is empty, 2 down, 2-1 Minnesota. The 2-1 swung on and hammered to dead center field. Wade going back on the track, reaches up, kind of backpedaled and staggered to make the catch. Perez took it. Well, the Indians and the Twins have played a couple of innings, and it's 2-1 Minnesota on top. The right-hander Shane Bieber will face the heart of the order, Cruz Rosario Sano. Cruz struck out his first time up chasing a slider. Shane Bieber into the windup and the pitch. And it's down low, didn't chase that slider. Ball one. And whether you're shipping from Cleveland or through Cleveland, choose Global Transport, Northeast Ohio's preferred provider for transportation and logistics management. Breaking ball strike, 1-1 the count on Cruz. The next delivery swung on, fouled back. A ball and 2 strikes. Shane Bieber, first base side of the rubber, delivers. And it's swung on, banged foul, third base side, a 1-2 count. Twins hope to get Michael Pineda back next Monday. He's been suspended for a half a year, dating back to last year for PEDs. We'll see if he's as effective as he was when he was on them. Here's the windup. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another slider and another strikeout of Nelson Cruz for Shane Bieber.
And I guess he's served his time, but boy, that's a tough if you're a team competing against them that he comes back right for that stretch run and won't have many innings under his belt, so he should be fresh and ready to go for the postseason.
Well, didn't he pitch against the Indians last year right before he got suspended?
Sure did.
Funny how that worked out. Here's Eddie Rosario, 0 for 1 left-handed hitter with 3 on the right side of the infield. 2-1, Twins lead, third inning. Bieber rocks and fires. Rosario takes a called strike. Be interesting to see now Mike Clevenger. Been a long time since we've seen him pitch. You can do all the throwing you want, alternate camp, sim games, whatnot, not the same thing. And then you're coming back, Rosie. That pitch, strike 2 against the Twins. It's not like you're getting to pitch against some rebuilding team.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he was still trying to find that good groove that he's gotten in years past. He wasn't quite there yet.
Now the wind and the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. He went around on a pitch in the dirt. Appeal at third. He's rung up by Ron Culpa. Perez picks up the ball, tags out Rosario. 5 strikeouts. I think, too, Rosie, Mike had that knee injury that required arthroscopic surgery in spring training. I don't know that he was trusting that leg yet. That's his landing leg. Clev is a high torque guy on that left leg. Don't know that he felt that comfortable yet with it.
So maybe the time down might benefit him. We'll find out tomorrow night soon enough.
Good matchup. Clevenger, Barrios tomorrow night. Here's Miguel Sano with the Twins up 2-1. 2 down, bases empty. Pitch outside a ball. Well, the Indians need Clev. They need Zach Plesac. And Zach Plesac should be back here relatively soon. The 1-0. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Perez. Quite frankly, Plesac probably would be back here along with Clevenger if Tristan McKenzie had not pitched so well, and Tristan earned the start in St. Louis this weekend.
Boy, isn't this game something? It's all about opportunity sometimes.
Now the 1-1. A little low, 2-1. What's the old adage? We've heard it said time and again. The train may slow down occasionally, but it never stops and waits.
No.
Now the 2-1. And it's a strike at the knees, 2-2. And look, Mike and Zach are good guys. They've had time to reflect. They know they made a mistake. And their teammates are ready to have them back. The 2-2. Checked on a pitch low and away. Did he go? Nope. Full count. And time to put this in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I think everyone involved with the team would like to see it move forward and get back to baseball.
Bieber's ready, and the payoff pitch now to Miguel Sano. Checked on a slider down and away. He didn't go, and Bieber has walked 3 batters for the first time this year. And we're only in the 3rd inning. 2-1 Minnesota. Here's Lamont Wade. Struck out his first time up. The Indians will be off on Thursday, and McKenzie makes that start Friday night in St. Louis. So basically everybody's getting an extra day's rest with that off day. Indians go to St. Louis and Kansas City. 6 games, 6 days starting Friday. Here's the set and the pitch to Wade, and it's in there, a strike. St. Louis is finally back playing. They're 10-8. Boy, do they have they're at 18 games, and the Indians are playing their 30th game tonight.
And the Cardinals have a doubleheader Thursday while the Indians are off. That's one of the makeups with the Pirates.
Hope both games go 20 innings. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Wade. Checked on a pitch in the dirt. Did he go? Nope. Good block by Perez. 1-1. Well, and Rosie, that's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the doubleheaders, but that actually finally benefits the Indians. How many times have the Indians played a team this year that hadn't played for 3 or 4 days, so the Indians saw their ace, number 2, and number 3 starters instead? Now the 1-1 to Wade, and it's low, 2-1.
Back-to-back series against the Tigers and the Pirates.
Yep.
So, yeah, this schedule, it's so because of COVID and some of the teams shutting down, it's fascinating how this is all played out. I mean, for traditionalists, it's probably not what they want to see, but in this season, 2020, it's just fascinating to see how we're going to get to the finish line.
Oliver Stone fans love it. The 2-1 swung on, fouled at the plate, 2-2. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, Rosie.
Nothing's normal. Nothing's normal.
2-1, Twins lead. Twins have a runner on, 2 down in the third. Wade is not a guy with much thump. Left-handed hitter. The pitch to him. And he drives one high in the air to fairly deep center. But DeShields is under it, and he'll put it away. And so Shane Bieber, for the first time this year, has walked 3 in a game. But he gets out of it. 2-1, Twins lead, middle of Mount Vernon. Tonight's contestant in the Liberty Ford Grand Slam giveaway. Hill kicks, deals, and it's in there, 1-1. If the Indians get a grand slam here in the third, Tyler Strain of Mount Vernon wins the 2020 Ford Mustang. Sign up, libertyford.com. DeShields fouls it at the plate, 1-2. DeShields batting .250, 3 runs batted in. Indians have hit the ball hard against Rich Hill, but they've run themselves out of 2 innings. Hill, the big wind and leg kick, and the pitch waved at. Struck him out with a good slow curveball. His curveball in the low 70s, fastball in the 87-mile-an-hour range. 1 down, top of the order. And Cesar Hernandez lined out to fairly deep center his first time up. He'll bat right-handed. Hill's old school. He's got the big windmill wind up and the high leg kick, trying to get as much deception as possible. The pitch, and it's up and in a ball. You can hear him grunt on every pitch, especially now with no fans in the stands. He may be hoarse after the game. The wind and the 1-0. High 2-0. Hope you fans can hear it. We'll have Brian crank up the field mic. And I'll just go quiet. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Cesar. It's a strike. Don't know if you could hear that one. Didn't grunt as loud on that one. Hey, Rich, can you grunt a little louder in this one? We're turning up the mic.
We're trying to test something here.
Here's the 2-1 from Hill. Swung and banged to third off the chest of Gonzalez. Kept it in front of him, and he throws out Hernandez. Hope you could hear that. 2 down. Good play at third. Gonzalez, like a hockey goalie, got in front of that ball, took it off the chest, kept it near him, and he threw out Hernandez. 2 down for Jose Ramirez, who singled, stole second, stole third, and scored on Carlos Santana's RBI single in the first. Motzi tells us the grunt is loud and clear. Thank you, Brian. 2 down, 2-1 Twins. Pitch inside a ball. Yeah, there are certain guys that you'll always remember when the game is done. Rich Hill's one of them. He's such a quality human. That pitch in there is strike, 1-1. In fact, last year, he was told he should have Tommy John surgery. The pitch. And it's strike 2. But he said, at my age, with a 12 to 18-month recovery timetable, it'd be the end of my career. So he did a primary repair, but not Tommy John. The pitch swung on a weak bounce at a first. Sano gloves it, jogs to the bag, and beats Ramirez there. So that's why he's still pitching. And that's...
Indians trailing the Twins by a score of 2-1 as we head to the top half of the 4th inning. It is the Chick-fil-A double play inning. If the Indians turn a double play during the 4th, use the Chick-fil-A app to get your free breakfast variety entree from participating Cleveland, Akron, Canton, and Sandusky Chick-fil-A locations, and they have breakfast rolling until 10:30 in the morning at Chick-fil-A. Leading things off, Marwin Gonzalez. Facing Shane Bieber, and the tribe right-hander leaves one up high for ball 1. Gonzalez walked his first time up, one of 3 walks allowed by Bieber, and stop the presses when that happens, as Bieber has some of the best control in Major League Baseball. But a little bit off tonight, not by much, and you want to be careful with this Twins lineup too. The 1-0 swung on, fouled back, and the count's 1-1. 2 of those walks to Miguel Sano, who's one of the hottest power hitters in baseball right now. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors for the Twins. 1 run, 3 base hits, and no errors for the Tribe. Jim Rosenhaus along with Tom Hamilton on a beautiful Tuesday night for baseball. What a stretch we are in terms of good baseball weather. The 1-1, breaking ball, low and in, 2-1. A lot of reasons this season did not start till late July, not the least of which the COVID shutdown. But once we got going, tremendous weather throughout just about every game the Indians have played. Now the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball inside corner for a strike. There's that curve from Bieber. Bottom third of the lineup due in against Bieber here in the 4th, with the Tribe trailing by a run. Shift is on for Gonzalez. 3 on the right side. The pitch to him. Down low for a ball. And the count runs full. Now, because of the walks and some deep counts, Bieber's pitch count already at 64, which he's very adept at getting deep into ball games, so it might be challenged in that area tonight. Now the 3-2, swung on, line drive to left. That gets down for a base hit. Gonzalez makes the turn, hangs on right there at first base. But a clean single to the opposite field for Marwin Gonzalez. And it's a leadoff base runner for Minnesota. Second time in 4 innings that the Twins see their leadoff hitter reach. Luis Arraez will step in. RBI double for Arraez, his first time up. Everstream is the business-only fiber network. If your business demands a high bandwidth, low latency network, check out Everstream. Here's Bieber's pitch, and Arraez takes a fastball outside and high, ball 1. Everstream, faster fiber, better business, everstream.net. Arraez in a nice stretch right now. 7-game hit streak going. 10 for 23 during that time. The 1-0 laced foul off to the left. Out of play. It'll rattle around. And the seats down below. Just camera people in the seats in the lower bowl in this odd season with no fans. They have the cutouts, quite a few here at Progressive Field. And then some photographers down there as well. That's it. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, line drive, foul. That's down the left side off the netting. And that's new at Progressive Field this year. They had put the netting up all the way down the lines in both left and right to protect the fans. But this year, no fans. Count on a rise, 1-2 with a runner at first base. That's Marwin Gonzalez. Infield plays it straight up at double play depth. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, a chopper to first. Santana fires to second for one. On to first, not in time. Little hesitation there from Santana because the base runner Gonzalez was between him and Lindor at second base, so he didn't want to plunk him. And Gonzalez, by hesitating, helped stay out of the double play. So one down, a rise at first. And Ryan Jeffers will step in. Boy, you watch that play develop, and hope you had a chance to see a play last night where Cole Calhoun of the Diamondbacks, there was a ball that got away into foul territory, and the throw back, and Calhoun he was going to be out at second base, so he did what he could. First the pitch to Jeffers, breaking ball down low. The throw was headed to second. He was between the throw and the bag at second, and he moved his head so that the ball hit his helmet on purpose. and that started quite the dispute in the Diamondbacks game last night, but it looked funny when it happened. One and 0 the count. Here's the pitch to Jeffers. Swung on and missed. 1-1 the count on the rookie catcher who's getting a chance to play with the injury to Mitch Garver. And here's a guy who spent most of last season in single A as a catcher. 24 games at double A. That was it. The rest of the year spent at the single A level in the Florida State League. So this is a big jump. Here's the 1-1. Fastball strike on the outside corner. But Jeffers is highly regarded. He was a second-round draft pick by the Twins 2 years ago, so he's not that far removed from his college career. Jeffers played his college ball at a fine academic institution, University of North Carolina, Wilmington, that also produced Carl Willis. Here's the 1-2, breaking ball down low. 2-2 the count. The Twins very high on Jeffers, and he gets a chance to play here. And smart kid, as he said, one of the first things that he's trying to do is build a good relationship with the veteran catcher Alex Avila, who's on this ball club, and really try and pick his brains. A lot of experience there from Avila. Now the 2-2 from Shane Bieber. Swung on, fouled back into the net. We'll do it again on 2-2. Dominion Energy would like to remind you, whether you're an individual or contractor, state law requires that you call 811 before you dig to have those underground utilities marked. Remember, it's simple and free. Just dial 811. This reminder from Dominion Energy. 2-2 the count. The pitch, low and outside. So now it's 3-2 on Jeffers. Runner at first, Luis Arraez. And again, Bieber really having to work hard here tonight. Not getting much early count action from the Twins hitters. The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike three. Got him with a hard-breaking pitch. Jeffers is down on strikes. Strikeout number 6 for Shane Bieber. 2 down in the inning, and we'll make that our Ohio Cat strikeout of the game. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or rent equipment, Ohio Cat and the Cat Rental Store have the right solution. Top of the lineup, Max Kepler steps in. Always a handful for Indians pitching so far tonight. After striking out in the first, he drove in a run with a single in the second. And right now, that RBI single is the difference in the game. A 2-1 Twins lead. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, right side, scooped up by Hernandez. Second baseman spins and fires and gets him at first base. Nice play by Cesar Hernandez. Francisco Lindor leads it off in the bottom of the fourth inning, facing the veteran lefty Rich Hill, and Hill takes a pitch up and in, or fires a pitch up and in for ball one. Lindor to be followed by Santana and Reyes in the home half of the fourth. Hill with a 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count on Lindor. Got his money's worth on that one. Man, took a big rip. Little extra time outside the box for Lindor. Now he's back in there. Here's the 1-1 from Hill. Swung on, yanked foul past the third base dugout. Indians dugout on that third base side. Lindor bounced to third his first time up. Tribe trailing in this one 2-1. Here's Hill's 1-2. Low and in. And the count is now 2-2. Rich Hill with that Boston background. It's where he was born and raised and still lives. The 2-2 delivery. Swung on, hammered, foul down the left side. Well foul, but hit well by Lindor. We'll do it again on 2-2. And a memory from Hill's time here in 2013 with the Indians. For the end after this pitch, the 2-2 is on its way to Lindor. Swung on, and there's a tapper to third. Fair ball. Backhand pickup Gonzalez. Long throw in time for the out. Lindor's retired on a nice play by Marwin Gonzalez. Time for the Cleveland Clinic caregivers shout out. Good folks at the clinic. Want to recognize Lutheran Hospital, the great caregivers there for everything they do to care for patients and families at Lutheran Hospital. There's Carlos Santana. He knocked in the Tribe run back in the first inning with an RBI single. That gave the Indians the early lead, but the Twins came right back with two in the top half of the second. And they now lead it 2-1. Santana swings and skies one to deep right, but room there for Kepler. And he makes the catch for the second out in the inning. And Franmil Reyes will step in with 2 outs, bases empty. I mentioned Hill's from Boston, and it seems like quite a few members of his family, be it his dad, aunts, uncles, run the Boston Marathon. And you may remember 2013 was the year of the Boston Marathon bombing. And obviously that was a tough day for him. He had family running the race that day. No one was hurt, fortunately. Here's the pitch to Reyes. Swung on, line drive, base hit down the left field line, headed toward the corner. Cut off in that corner by Rosario, and this time Reyes puts the brakes on, and he'll settle for a single. Last time up, he hit one off the wall and tried to stretch it to a double and was thrown out by Rosario. But I just remember talking to Rich about that in the clubhouse and what had happened the day before. And it really hit home for him, not only because friends and family were running the race, but he said, hey, if you're a New Englander, that's a part of who you are. And someone, a group of people, messed with that. And that really bothered him. Here's the pitch to Jordan Luplow, and it's low and in for ball one. But it was an interesting look inside what is just a great part of history and who New Englanders are, the Boston Marathon every year. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike. Counts now 1-1. You may recall that year the Red Sox came here right after that. The Indians were their next series after the Patriots Day game. That ended in tragedy. Not the game itself, but the Boston Marathon did that year. 1-1 the count. Indians were supposed to play in that Patriots game this year. That was on the original schedule in early May, but Obviously, that went by the wayside. 1-1 the count on Luplow. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down low, and the count's now 2-1. Tribe down 2-1. Bottom half of the fourth inning. About what you'd expect tonight. The Indians trying to scratch and claw for anything they can get against Rich Hill. And the Twins the same against Shane Bieber. Here's the 2-1. Low and in, ball 3 to Luplow, with Domingo Santana waiting on deck. Tonight's injury report presented by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. If an auto accident or medical malpractice caused you injury, call 1-800-ELK Ohio. And great news on the injury front for the Indians. Not much there. Everyone pretty well healthy. Here's the 3-1. Called strike 2 on the inside corner as Luplow was reaching down to unbuckle the shin guard and head on down to first base, but Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire, says, no, sir. That was strike 2. So now it's a 3-2 count on Luplow. For the Twins, a lot of injuries. Josh Donaldson, Byron Buxton, Mitch Garver, all out of their lineup with various ailments. The 3-2. There's ball 4. It was up high, and Hill's not happy. He thought he might have had strike 3. So a single and a walk, and the Indians with 2 down have something going. It was a 2-out RBI base hit in the first inning that netted the Indians their only run so far. Now Santana steps in. He lined to right his first time up. Indians trying to at least tie things up, maybe grab a lead here in the fourth inning. Santana's had some key hits along the way for the Indians, just not as many as he would like. The average still well under the 200 mark at 167 coming in. Here's the pitch. Fastball strike on the inside corner. Want to say hello to our season ticket holder of the game, Joe Rizzi of Akron. 16 years an Indian season ticket holder, so congrats, Joe, and thank you. Joe Rizzi out of Akron, Ohio, our season ticket holder of the night. The 0-1. Breaking ball, missed outside and low. 1-1. Hill looking in, wants to know where that was. A good big looping curveball, and he's used to getting that one for a strike. Now Hill with that long look in. 1-1 the count on Domingo Santana. And now Hill steps on. Working with a rookie catcher tonight, Ryan Jeffers. 2 outs, 2 men aboard. That's Franmil Reyes at second, Jordan Luplow at first. Reyes the tying run out there at second base. And now Hill again does not see what he wants from Jeffers, so he steps off again. Let's see if he goes back to that big looping curveball, which generally is in the 73 to 75 mile an hour range. The 1-1 swung on, bouncing ball foul outside of third. The bat went flying into the Indians' dugout above on that netting, and then it trickled down below. Easily retrieved. And it'll be 1-2 on Domingo Santana. Visit your local Ohio Kubota dealer today. You can test drive the Kubota L2501. That's a compact tractor that is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. the last 10 years. Visit GoKubota.com. Tribe trailing 2-1, but threatening in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 2 on, 2 gone. 1-2 the count on Domingo Santana. Right-handed hitter, slightly open stance. Oh, boy. Hill has stepped off several times, and just as he looked like he was ready to get to that set position, Santana said, you know what, I'm not quite ready. And he stepped out. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, fouled off at home plate, right down off the shoe tops. And Santana's going to hobble around. And he might need a little help. Let's see if the trainer comes out to have a look. Yep, there's James Quinlan along with Sandy Alomar. As that one was fouled down, looked like just below the knee. Wow. Gives you an idea of just how sharp that break was on the breaking stuff from Hill. Santana undoubtedly will stay in the game. He just needs a little time to piece it together here, as he is ailing off to that third base side of home plate. Now it gives us a chance to fill you in on our Smuckers memorable moment, brought to you by the J.M. Smucker Company, headquartered right here in Northeast Ohio. J.M. Smucker Company makes food that people and pets love, and we take you back to this date, 2008. Grady Sizemore became a 30-30 player. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike three to Santana. But Sizemore hit a Tribe trailing by a score of 2-1 as we head to the top half of the fifth inning here at Progressive Field, and Jorge Polanco will lead things off for Minnesota, facing Shane Bieber. Bieber at 77 pitches through 4. Twins have made him work tonight, and not many teams have been able to say that here in 2020. Here's the pitch, and it missed inside, ball one. Bieber is still looking in at home plate umpire Chris Siegel. He has not been happy with the strike zone of Siegel, and neither is Rich Hill. It's been a tight strike zone for the most part. The 1-0, fastball up high. 2-0. Both pitchers on several occasions have looked in at the home plate umpire wondering where certain pitches were. And they are accustomed to getting for a strike. Now the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, popped up foul off to the left. That's out of play. So 2-1 on Jorge Polanco. 1 for 2 with a single back in the first inning. 7 career home runs against the Indians. Coming off one of his best major league seasons a year ago. The 2-1, that's up high for ball 3. So many of these Minnesota Twins had tremendous seasons in 2019, and Jorge Polanco, no exception. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, popped him up. Third base side, foul. Looks like there's room for Ramirez, and the third baseman makes the catch for the first out in the inning. One away. Nelson Cruz will be the batter. Dollar Bank and the Indians are giving you a chance to win one of 3 fantastic Tribe prizes now through September 2nd. Visit Indians.com/dollarbanksweeps to enter. Here's Cruz, one of the best in the game, at 40. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off at home plate. In his age 40 season, he came in tied for the league lead in homers, second in runs driven in, and third in batting average coming in. And last night, continued to climb the ladder in the all-time home run chase. It is 412th career home run. Now tied with Alfonso Soriano for 54th on the all-time list. 2 back of Darrell Evans. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball down low. He held off that time, and the count's 1-1. Now Bieber's into the windup. Here comes his 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Count moves to 1-2 on Cruz, who has now hit 52 home runs since joining the Twins to start last season. That's the 6th most in baseball during that time. Here's the 1-2. Down low. 2-2 the count. Twins leading this one 2-1. Thanks to a 2-run second inning, an RBI double by Luis Arraez, RBI single by Max Kepler. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cruz is down on strikes for the 3rd straight time, and now is just 1 for 13 in his career against Shane Bieber. To Uptown, Eddie Rosario will be the batter. For a limited time, McDonald's is selling large drink koozies for just $5. The proceeds benefit Ronald McDonald House Charities of Northeast Ohio, so stop in soon to any local McDonald's. Here's Rosario, 0 for 2, a fielder's choice and a strikeout. Already he's thrown a runner out on the bases. Nice throw from left field to cut down Franmil Reyes, trying to stretch a single into a double. Pitch to Rosario, swung on and missed. He's had a 3-home run game against the Indians. A couple of years back, home run number 3 was a walk-off. What an afternoon for him at Target Field. And he's had some great days against the Tribe. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball down low. 1-1 the count. Rosario in his career, 21 home runs and 45 driven in 88 games against the Indians. Now the 1-1 from Bieber. Swung on, ground ball right side, scooped up by Hernandez, the second baseman, over to first in time for the out. Side retired in order. We head to the bottom. Indians trying to break through here against Rich Hill with the Tribe trailing 2-1. Roberto Perez leads it off and takes a strike. Hill has struck out a pair. He's walked 2, but allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. Perez fly to center first time up. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, fouled off at home plate. And the count moves to 1-1 on Roberto Perez. Yeah, the Indians came in again, struggling as much as any team in the major leagues offensively. 29th in team batting average at .213. Here's the 0-2. Check swing liner foul over to the right side, out of play. Indians with the lowest slugging percentage in baseball at .339 and one of the lower OPS numbers in baseball, too, a good indicator of offensive production. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball called, strike 3 on the inside corner. Perez caught looking. 1 away in the bottom half of the 5th. Now, don't forget, anytime the Indians score 5 runs in a game, you can pick up 1 free small curly fry the next day at your nearest Arby's. All you need to do is mention this promotion only at participating Cleveland Arby's locations. And remember, at Arby's, they have the meats. Delino DeShields, the batter, number 9 hitter, struck out his first time up. Here's the pitch. Up high, ball 1. So it's been a slow start through the 29 games to this point offensively for the Indians. But right on par with a year ago. Amazing. Here's the 1-0. And that's inside, 2-0. And I say amazing just how similar things are across the board. The Indians a year ago with a team batting average of .212 after 30 games. This year, .213 after 29. Slugging percentage exactly the same. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Runs scored. Indians have actually scored 1 more run in 29 games this year than they did in the first 30 a year ago. And amazingly, their record just about the same. 17-13 after 30 games a year ago. They're at 17-12 right now. The 1-2. Breaking ball down low. 2-2. What does it all mean? Well, the Indians certainly picked things up a year ago and became a solid offensive unit much of the second half of the season. The only difference is it's such a shorter season this year. They don't really have much more time to really try and settle in. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And we see that if things extend much further, they'll be deep into the season. But the other flip side to that is once they get it rolling, as long as they get it rolling in time for postseason, if they can get there, then certainly they'll take that. And they won't worry about what happened the first month of the season. Here's Cesar Hernandez. The pitch from Hill. Swung on, popped him up, foul, and out of play off to the right. But it is just fascinating. Look at all the numbers from this point a year ago and through yesterday's game. Very, very similar. Now the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, missed inside. Thank Austin Contrulis from Indians Communications for the info. Austin couldn't sleep last night, so he was on the computer looking stuff up. The 1-1. Breaking ball low and in. 2-1. 2-1 ball game. Minnesota in front. Bottom half of the fifth inning. Rich Hill with a good one going. Here's his 2-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up foul and out of play, straight back. And it's now 2-2. At Dunkin' Donuts, you can fall into something comfortable with all of your pumpkin favorites like new drinks, like oatmeal lattes. Creamy without the dairy. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Hill strikes out the side. 5 complete at Progressive Field. It is still 2-1. Twins.
4 hits. Hi again, everybody. Tom Hamilton back with you along with the old Rosebud. Jim Rosenhaus along with the old Brian Monte. We missed the old Stephanie Hagel. We'll see her next year. Miguel Sano opens up the inning. 2 walks and a run scored. Shane Bieber has struck out walked a season high 3, has struck out 7. The wind in the pitch to Sano, waved at, strike 1. Twins got their 2 runs in the second inning. Luis Arraez had an RBI double. Max Kepler an RBI single. The Indians got their run, as always, it seems like, in the first inning. Then nothing after. There's strike 2 delivered. Jose Ramirez singled, stole second, stole third, and scored on Carlos Santana's 2-out single to left. That's it. 2-1. Twins up in the 6th. Bieber's pitch low and away, 1-2. Rich Hill and Shane Bieber both pitching very well. Bieber has struck out 7, walked 3. Hill has struck out 5, walked 2. And that's your Ford game summary. Ford is America's best-selling brand. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Good slider. Bieber strikes out his 8th as Sano's retired to start inning number 6. And it looks like the night is over for Rich Hill. And boy, what a shot in the arm it was for the Twins to get 5 innings from Rich Hill tonight. They would have settled for 3 or 4. Jorge Alcala, a right-hander whom the Twins are high on, is warming in the bullpen. This is a good Twins bullpen. Lamont Wade has struck out, flied out, fouls the pitch off his foot, strike 1. This 6th inning is brought to you by Great Lakes Brewing Company. Enjoy the crack of the can and the roar of the crowd with Great Lakes Brewing Company, the official craft beer of the Cleveland Indians. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good changeup. He hasn't thrown many. And Bieber ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes for Shane Bieber. That's the 5th changeup he's thrown all night. Hasn't thrown many cutters tonight either. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with a curveball. 9 strikeouts for Shane Bieber. If you like knowing pitch usage, well then here you go. Thanks for asking. Fastball, 34 of them. 27 curveballs. 23 sliders. Those have been the 3 dominant pitches that Bieber has gone with most of the night. Marwin Gonzalez has walked, singled, switch hitter batting left-handed. Thing about Shane Bieber, Rosebud, as Bieber into the wind and the pitch, and it's in there, a strike. That was a rare cutter. That's the thing about it. One night it's fastball, curve, slider. Next game it might be fastball, cutter, changeup.
And listening to him, that's part of his development. He wanted to have other options so he can figure out which one's working best on a particular night and stay unpredictable.
And he can adjust during a game with so many weapons. Roberto Perez is so good at reading hitters, making those in-game adjustments. 2-1 Twins, 6th inning. The pitch waved at 0-2. Bieber seems to be getting better as this game progresses. The problem is the next pitch is number 100 for Shane Bieber. I don't say it's a problem. It's just that you would like 100 pitches to come maybe in the 7th or 8th inning, not the 6th. Bieber's ready. Here comes the 0-2. Just missed down and away, and all of a sudden now he's going to the changeup a little more here in the 6th inning. Wow. If you're a hitter and you've got to think about facing this guy, you don't sleep much the night before. Marwin Gonzalez digs back in, trying to get a toe hold with that back foot. He awaits the 1-2 pitch from Shane Bieber. And here it comes. Bounced a curveball in there. Ball 2, strike 2. Now the Indians and Twins just keep playing low-scoring games. It's unbelievable. Maybe it's not. Indians number 1 in the league in pitching, Minnesota number 2. So I guess that would pretty much lead you to expect this. Last night, 3-2 Twins. Tonight, 2-1 Twins. Bieber into the wind and the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck out the side. And Shane Bieber, if it is the end of the line, it gives him another game of double. Dominant bullpen will go to it now after a terrific outing by Rich Hill. 2-1 Minnesota, bottom of the 6th as Jorge Alcala comes on. The right-hander, mid-90s fastball. Fastball slider change. Alcala is 25 years of age, 6'3", 205. Made his Major League debut last year when he worked in 2 games. This year for the Minnesota Twins, Alcala in 6 outings is 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. Listen to these numbers. 12 innings of work, 15 strikeouts. Opposition batting 195 against him. Jose Ramirez batting left-handed takes a called strike. Oliver Perez warming in the Indians' pen. So Shane Bieber's night may be over. The wind and pitch, and it's a little bit low at 96, 1-1 the count. Shane Bieber making 102 pitches tonight in 6 innings. The next offering swung on line into right field and a base hit through the shift. So Ramirez has a 2-hit game. He singled and scored the Indians' only run in the first. Boy, Rich Hill was impressive tonight. Really, should we be surprised? No. He just keeps proving people wrong. And Rich Hill tonight went 5 innings, gave up 1 run on 4 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, made 78 pitches. What a boost this will be for the Twins if they can keep Rich Hill healthy. And again, Minnesota has such a good bullpen and such a good team. They don't need Rich Hill to do more than what he did tonight. 5 innings is just fine, and make sure he's healthy come October. Frankie Lindor batting left-handed. Lindor tonight 2 ground outs. Rich Hill just kept dazzling the Indians with 87-mile-an-hour fastballs and 72-mile-an-hour curveballs. Those are the only 2 pitches he threw tonight. Didn't throw one other pitch. Now the set. Lindor takes. It's low, 1-0. Rich Hill made exactly 39 pitches that were fastballs and 39 curveballs. How about that?
A little disappointing, Tommy. He has the eephus pitch in his repertoire. Used it last year. Didn't use it tonight. Wanted to see at least one.
You know, that's, we should talk to Rich about that. Here's the 1-0. Swung on a towering fly to left. Down the line, it's twisting foul. 1-1. The one thing about no crowd, not only could you hear Rich Hill with loud grunts, but the rare time he gave up a base hit, he said a naughty word. That's the only thing I like about no crowds. We're hearing things we've never heard before. We know what goes on. These guys are so competitive. Lindor fouling it back, 1-2 the count. You won't meet a nicer human being than Rich Hill.
I think the same could be said for David Bell, the Reds manager, and he got thrown out between innings.
Yep.
I mean, the paint was peeling off the walls because he got into it with the umpire.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and blasted into deep right field. Forget about it. And the Indians take the lead on a 2-run homer to right by Francisco Lindor. And Lindor, with his 5th home run of the year, all left-handed, has put the Tribe on top 3-2 here in the 6th. And maybe that'll get Frankie Lindor going, because this Indians offense is not going to percolate until Lindor, Ramirez, and Santana are clicking. And Ramirez with 2 hits tonight, and Francisco Lindor with a blast to right to put the Indians up by a score of 3-2. Now Carlos Santana 1 for 2, an RBI single, takes inside, ball 1. Wow, was that a welcome sight for Frankie Lindor and the Indians. Alcala into the line, the right-hander's pitch, swing and a miss. Ball in on his hands at 1-1 the count now. Outfield deep and a bit toward right. Infield 3 on the right side. Alcala works out of a windup. You don't see many relievers do that. He came from Houston, a trade that has really worked out for the Astros. The pitch down low. Ball 2, 2-1. Ryan Presley went to Houston 2 years ago near the trade deadline. And boy, what a mark he has made on the Houston bullpen. Now the Twins are hoping that the youngster Alcala can do the same in Minnesota. The 2-1. Swung on, fouled back, 2-2. He certainly has the arm. Legacy Roofing is Ohio's premier roofing service provider. Whether you need a roof repair or full roof replacement, call 855-GOT-ROOF for a free estimate and visit LegacyRoofingOH.com for more details. Now the 2-2. Swing and a foul over the screen into the seats behind the plate. And we'll do it again at 2-2. Indians may be happy to finally see somebody throw hard and not keep tricking them like Rich Hill did. Boy, his curveball tonight was devastating. Now the 2-2 offering. Down low, a slider or a changeup. He throws everything hard. His off-speed pitches are upper 80s. Talking about Jorge Alcala. He's throwing his off-speed pitches harder than Rich Hill threw his fastball. But this game is about disrupting a hitter's timing, and that's what Rich Hill does. The payoff, swung on, fouled upstairs. We'll do it again at 3-2. Best thing that could have happened tonight for the Indians is Rich Hill left the game after 5 superb innings. Now the payoff pitch. Checked on a pitch low, and he walked him. So Alcala has come in, given up a single, a homer, and now a walk. Still nobody out for Franmil Reyes. And this would be an indication that Shane Bieber's night is indeed done. And now, there may be something wrong with Alcala, as the Minnesota Twins trainer is going out with the pitching coach, Wes Johnson, or maybe that's just a translator. I guess it's not a trainer. I don't see any scissors or tape, so it must be a translator. But Oliver Perez warming in the Indians bullpen would indicate that indeed Shane Bieber's night is done, although Bieber now could go to 6-0 thanks to Frankie Lindor.
I think at 102 pitches in it, at times it was a battle tonight for him. It wasn't an easy 102 to get through 6, so looks like they're going to go ahead and call it a night for him and turn it over to a really good bullpen.
Well, the meeting is over. And Franmil Reyes with 2 singles steps to the plate. So the Indians have a 3-2 lead thanks to the Frankie Lindor 2-run blast to right. Runner on, nobody out, 6th inning. And the pitch swung on, squibbed on the right side. The second baseman Arise has only one play going to his left, and that's to first to get Reyes. Santana to second, 1 down. Here's Jordan Luplow with 2 walks tonight. Now he's being called back to the Indians' dugout. And this will bring out Tyler Naquin to pinch hit with a right-hander on the mound. So Tyler Naquin will pinch hit for Jordan Luplow and then stay in the ball game. It's the 6th inning. Indians up 3-2 with a runner on at second base with 1 down. Indians trying to get some breathing room here in the 6th with Naquin pinch hitting. Naquin this season is 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter, batting .278, 4 runs batted in for the left-handed hitting outfielder. Alcala from the set, hands at the belt, delivers. Naquin looks at the heater for strike 1. Three to 2 Cleveland, 6th inning. And for the Indians, the first time they've scored more than 2 runs in a game against Minnesota this year. The pitch swung on, ripped to right. That's a base hit down the line. It's going to go to the wall. Naquin on his way to second. Santana heading for home, and Naquin comes through big time with a pinch hit RBI double down the right field line, and it's a 3-run 6th. And the Indians have a 4-2 lead on Minnesota. And Tyler Naquin comes through in a good move by acting manager Sandy Alomar. And now Domingo Santana, the batter, with a line out and a strikeout.
All right, Naquin has just looked ready to hit since he got back from the injured list. And that time comes up in a pinch hitting situation, seeking out a pitch that he could handle and drives it into the corner.
The Indians have scored 3 times here in the 6th. And the pitch is swung on and missed. The Indians had not scored 3 runs in a game against Minnesota, and they have a 3-run 6th. The Indians had mustered only 6 runs off Minnesota pitching in 5 games this year. 4-2 Tribe here in the 6th. Runner at second, 1 out. The pitch waved at, and it's 0-2. Outfield, as always, deep. Minnesota's outfield plays deeper than any outfield in the American League against almost everybody that hits. Alcala's right. Comes set, and the pitch. Waved at, chased a slider in the dirt. Boy, Santana, I don't know if he swung at a strike in that at bat. 2 down. That'll bring up the catcher. Roberto Perez has flied out to the track and center and struck out looking. 2 down, Naquin at second. The Indians with a 4-2 lead, plating 3 here in the 6th. Righty encounter. Alcala's ready. The pitch. And he missed outside with a slider. Ball 1. Mike Clevenger will make the start tomorrow night for the Indians against Jose Barrios at 7:10. The next offering, and it's a little bit low evidently, and that is ball 2, 2-0 the count. The set and pitch, swung on, bounced to short, charged by Polanco, looks it into the glove on the run towards first. He throws kind of off balance, but he got the out. But the Indians get 3 and lead the Twins 4-2. We go to the 7th on the Cleveland Clinic. Left-hander Oliver Perez, who's been sensational here in 2020, on to work the 7th inning, with the Indians now leading the Twins 4-2. Tyler Naquin stays in to play right. Domingo Santana moves over to play left. Oliver Perez will make appearance number 12. 1 win, 1 save, an ERA of .84. In 10 2/3 innings, 1 run on 5 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. Fastball slider. Luis Arraez, the number 8 hitter, will lead it off. The left-handed hitting second baseman. So lefty-lefty standoff here in the 7th inning. Cleveland 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 4 left. Minnesota 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 5 stranded. The pitch, and it's in there, a strike. Another tremendous outing by Shane Bieber. If the Indians bullpen keeps this lead, Shane Bieber, the Major League's first 6-game winner, he would be 6-0. Now the 0-1, and it's outside, 1-1. Shane Bieber went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 10, walked 3. He leads the Major Leagues with 5 games this year of 10 strikeouts or more. Now the 1-1, and it's a breaking ball outside, 2-1. Shane Bieber's last 3 starts, he has struck out 10 or more. First time he's done that. 3 straight games with double-digit strikeout totals. Now the pitch. Swung on, grounded up the middle. To his right with a backhand. Hernandez, second baseman, will throw out Arraez, who didn't hit that ball very hard. Here is the young catcher, Ryan Jeffries. Beg your pardon, Jeffers, not Jeffries. Jeffers out of North Carolina, Wilmington. Second round pick. He's 0 for 2. Then the top of the order with another lefty up. Perez has to face 3 this inning. James Karinchak heating up in the Tribe pen as Jeffers fouls it back, strike 1. Indians beat Minnesota 2-0 in the first matchup this year in Minneapolis. Then the Twins winning 4-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. Tribe up 4-2 as that pitch is strike 2 call. Oliver Perez working third base side of the rubber. The pitch fouled upstairs. Perez will vary how quickly he comes to the plate. That time it was almost like a quick pitch. Sometimes he's very slow, deliberate, turning his back to the hitter. That time he tried to surprise Jeffers, who fought it off. Now the 0-2. And it's up and in, 1-2. There are not many tricks of the trade that guys like Oliver Perez and Rich Hill don't know. Perez 39, Rich Hill sparkled tonight. He was 40 at the game's outset. The pitch swung on, cued foul to the right, and Rich Hill is still 40, and Oliver Perez is still 39. But it tells you if you work at it, you still have a love for the game. A lot of guys, they get to this point in their career and they may still have it physically, but mentally they're done. But not Perez and not Hill. Great for the game that they're both pitching and pitching well. Now the 1-2. Swung on, bang toward first, base hit inside the bag, down the line, cut off by Naquin. And Jeffers, pretty good piece of hitting, going the opposite way. And now the top of the order in another lefty-lefty matchup. Twins have their 5th hit. And Max Kepler to the plate with the Twins down 4-2. Kepler 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the second. The Indians put 3 on the dirt between first and second. Third baseman Jose Ramirez even with the bags midway between second and third. The outfield a bit toward right, fairly deep. The pitch, Kepler takes in tight, moved him off the plate at the belt for ball 1. The set and the next offering. Outside a slider, 2-0. Game 1 of a doubleheader saw Houston beat the Angels today 6-3. Houston got 5 in the first. They didn't need any more. Nightcap, it's all Angels. 6-0 in the 5th inning. And again, you only play 7 innings now in doubleheaders. The pitch, Kepler looks, it's low, 3-0. Boston outslugging Toronto 9-6 in the 6th. Boston just scored 6 in the 6th. Tampa Bay with a 4-2 lead on Baltimore in the 9th. Tampa having a good year. The 3-0. There's ball 4. Boy, Perez, a rare walk. And Jeffers to second, Kepler to first. Tying runs on for Jorge Polanco. Indians want him to bat right-handed. And so Perez will stay in. Polanco 1 for 3 with a single. No, maybe not. Sandy Alomar started out of the dugout. Now he goes back to the top step. Maybe Karinchak's not ready. Now the Indians will stall. We're going to see Karinchak. Sandy Alomar's just waiting to get the sign that Karinchak's ready to go. Karinchak is. And well, Sandy started out, and now Carl Willis comes out instead. Sandy started out toward the mound, turned around. You can do that as long as you don't cross the foul line. And he went back into the dugout, and Carl Willis goes out. So that means no pitching change. Elsewhere in the major leagues, Oakland leading Texas 3-1 in the 4th. Matt Olson's hit his 10th home run for Oakland. Detroit with a 2-0 lead on the Cubs in the 6th inning. White Sox with a 4-0 lead on Pittsburgh in the 4th. St. Louis leads Kansas City 4-2 in the 3rd. Seattle just scored first inning against San Diego. Yankees and Braves were rained out. Doubleheader tomorrow. Jorge Polanco 1 for 3 with a single. His first at bat right-handed tonight. Twins have 2 on, 1 out. 7th inning, 4-2 Cleveland. The pitch. Swung on, grounded to third. Bobbled by Ramirez. Gets it. Steps on the bag. Off balance throw to first. Offline. Santana came toward home plate. Caught it and tagged out Polanco. Well, Ramirez bobbled it, recovered, made a wide throw toward home plate, but Santana still caught it and tagged him out. And it's an inning-ending double play. Not exactly how you draw it up, but the inning is over. Stretch time at the corner. Another hard thrower and another rookie, Sean Poppin, coming in for Minnesota. 4-2, Indians lead, 7th inning. Number 9 hitter, Delino DeShields, 2 strikeouts tonight. Poppin, mid-90s fastball slider change. He is 6'3", 205. 26 years of age. Sean Poppin, P-O-P-P-E-N. Sets, fires, and it's a called strike. Poppin 19th round pick by the Twins 4 years ago. Poppin, a graduate of Harvard. The right-hander with a high set and the pitch. And a slider dipping low, 1-1 the count. He played 4 years of college baseball at Harvard. Valedictorian of his senior class in high school. That's how you get to Harvard. The pitch, down low, 2-1. You never hear of anybody going to Harvard, and they left after 3 years to pursue their baseball career. Who? You're going to get that degree at Harvard. He was an outfielder and a pitcher in college. 4-2 Indians, 7th inning. Now the 2-1 pitch. Way outside, 3-1. Should finish the scores here for you. In the National League, doubleheader time in Queens. Miami blanked the Mets in the opener, 4-0. Now the set by Poppin, and the 3-1 swung on, foul down the right side, full count. Cincinnati leads Milwaukee 2-0 in the 4th. And in the 7th, Philly with a 5-2 lead on Washington. The Indians with a 3-run 6th have come from behind and lead Minnesota 4-2. As we're in the bottom of the 7th, and the payoff pitch. And DeShields takes it's a little bit high, and he walks. So the Indians have drawn 4 more walks tonight. The scores have been brought to you by Cohen & Company. With offices throughout Northeast Ohio, Cohen & Company CPAs and consultants help private businesses find opportunities to stay strong. Learn more at cohencpa.com/baseball. Rich Hill was tremendous, went 5 innings, gave up a run on 4 hits, but the Indians got to the hard thrower, Jorge Alcala, who gave up 3 runs in the 1 inning he worked. Frankie Lindor's 2-run homer, the big blow. And this is bunted foul third base side by leadoff hitter Cesar Hernandez. Switch hitter batting left-handed, 0 for 3 tonight. DeShields a base stealer at first. Nobody out here in the 7th with the Indians on top 4-2. Gorgeous night in Cleveland. No breeze, 79 degrees. And the 0-1 pitch. Hernandez takes a slider by the back foot. Ball 1, strike 1. See your Northern Ohio GMC dealers for attractive offers. GMC, we are professional grade. The right-hander's pitch, showing bunt. Hernandez takes, it's up and away, 2 balls and a strike. Four runs, 7 hits for the Indians, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Twins. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Sean Poppin, the right-hander. He's ready. Throw to first, and it gets away from Sano. He picks it up in foul ground, and DeShields thought about it, but wisely held. Two and one the count on Hernandez. Tell you what, Sano is a work in progress at first. Minnesota's going to lose some games with him at first defensively. The 2-1, low 3-1. I know he's a big bat. You need him in the lineup, but he's really a DH playing first.
And they have made a lot of progress defensively. They came in statistically as one of the better defensive clubs in the American League, but boy, that's a prime position to have struggles. 3-1.
Swung on, fouled at the plate, full count. Yep. everybody says, just put him at first. Well, then you find out how valuable a guy is at first. Outside of the catcher, he handles the ball more than anybody else in the game defensively.
Saves infielders. A good first baseman saves infielders' errors. Last night we saw Carlos Santana gun down a runner at the plate on a nice relay.
Now the payoff. Runner goes, swung on, fouled back, and Hernandez stays alive at 3-2. 4-2 Cleveland. We're in the 7th. Poppins 3-2 delivery. Runner stays, and it's swung on and missed. Or was it? No, he just got a piece of it evidently. Barely. So the count stays full on Cesar Hernandez. Again, the 3-2. Runner goes. Pitches wide. He walked him. So the kids come in and walk the first too many faces in the 7th. And in late innings, those walks to start an inning are usually a death knell for a pitcher. Wes Johnson, the pitching coach, is heading to the mound. Twins do not have activity, but that may soon change as the Indians try to remove all doubt in the 7th. Have 2 men on, nobody out. 4-2 Cleveland. And again, this might be a case, too, where manager Rocco Baldelli says, I can't keep going to the same guys. Not that you don't try to win the game. Sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war and think big picture.
Well, they had a bullpen day on Sunday in Kansas City, so coming into this series, they knew they might be a little bit thin, and they had it set up nicely last night just the way they like it, but you had a hunch that at some point they might have to dial back on that, and tonight may be the night.
I got to believe, too, Rosie. Look, Minnesota's record is second only to the Dodgers. They're getting into the playoffs. They're not going to have home field advantage for the playoffs. Sounds more and more like we might have a playoff bubble. And even if you are playing at home with no fans, what difference does it make? Here's Jose Ramirez batting left-handed, taking outside a ball. So really, you're not going to go all out to win a division title this year like you normally would.
And hopefully that is something that's looked at for future seasons. I know they're looking at a lot of the new things this year that maybe hold over into the future.
Now the set and the 1-0 to Ramirez. And he swings and skies one to fairly deep left, but playable. Back is Rosario to grab it. Everybody stays put. And Ramirez 2 for 4 tonight with 2 singles, 2 steals, and 2 runs scored is out number 1. Now Frankie Lindor, the batter, who blasted a 2-run homer to right last inning that put the Indians up 3-2.
And Frankie had been showing some signs, a couple of base hits last night where he kind of took the pitch that was given to him and didn't try and do too much, and that sets up everything else. And really good at bat his last time at the plate.
Lindor, let's see how he follows up that home run. The key for him is not trying to hit home runs. He's hit 5, all left-handed. That's how he bats now. Poppins' pitch, swung on, double play ball to short. Polanco steps on second, doubles up Frankie Lindor at first, and we go to the 8th. Twins and Indians have played 7 games. Karinchak, who worked an inning last night, had a 1-2-3 inning with a couple more punch-outs. He's putting up Little League numbers with the Indians up 4-2, 8th inning. Karinchak is striking out 2 batters every inning. I mean, what a rookie year. 30 strikeouts in 15 innings, 1 run allowed on 4 hits, an 0.57 earned run average, and 0.83 batting average against. He has just absolutely overmatched major league hitters here in 2020. unlike almost anything we've ever seen. He's got that hammer of a curveball, that 12-6 downward action, and a mid-90s fastball. Nelson Cruz, the DH, digs in and takes up and in a fastball. Cruz saw nothing but curves last night. Cruz has struck out 3 times tonight. Scoreless inning for Oliver Perez, who walked 1 and gave up a hit. Shane Bieber trying to go 6-0, struck out 10, giving up 2 runs in 6 innings. The pitch. And a curveball missed outside, 2-0. Cooper Tires, a proud partner of the Indians. Go with the Coopers. Indians play Cruz like he were a left-handed pull hitter. Toward right, the Indians put 3 on the left side of the infield. Cruz, Rosario, and Sano. This is their inning to try to get back into it. 4-2 Cleveland, 8th inning. Karinchak's ready. Here it comes, and it's in there, a strike. Mid-90s fastball. 2-1 the count on Nelson Cruz. Another guy playing at age 40 and thriving. Now the 2-1. Swung on, drilled to right, but coming on, Naquin makes a catch just below the knees, basket style. A sinking liner off the bat of Cruz the other way, but Naquin read it and makes the catch for out number 1. Here's Eddie Rosario, 0 for 3 in tonight's ballgame. Again, the Indians overload a pull side of the infield, this time on the right side. Karinchak from the set. He delivers, and it's swung on, a sky ball to center. Routine for Delino DeShields. Greg Allen is now in left field. 2 down in the 8th. Here's Miguel Sano, 2 walks and a strikeout. Well, another great piece of scouting and developing. The Indians grabbed James Karinchak in the 9th round 3 years ago. How in the world he ever ended up at Bryant University in Rhode Island is still another story. That's a D1 school of 3,400 students. Bryant University in Rhode Island. Well, James Karinchak is going to help that school sell a lot of T-shirts and baseball caps. 2 down, Tribe up 2 in the 8th. The pitch to Sano, and it's high heat, ball 1. Karinchak fell in the draft in 2017 because he had a shoulder injury.
Whistler up to the Twins.
Well, you look at what the Indians have done here in the draft. My goodness. In 2016, getting Zach Plesac, Shane Bieber, and Aaron Savali in the same draft. Karinchak a year later. Now the 1-0 pitch. And a curve down low, 2-0, and none of those guys drafted before the 3rd round. 4-2 Cleveland. Twins batting 8th inning, 2 outs, nobody on. Karinchak lets it fly, and the pitch swung on a floater to right for a bloop single. So Sano gets aboard with a 2-out single to right. And Lamont Wade, 2 strikeouts and a flyout, comes to the plate, batting left-handed. Toyota 4Runner is ready for anything, anytime, anywhere. Legendary off-road capabilities, aggressive design, the latest technology right at your fingertips, the most advanced safety features. Now, for all Toyota offers, go to buyatoyota.com. 4-2 Cleveland. Twins batting 8th inning, a runner on, 2 down. Santana plays in back of Sano, the runner at first. The left-handed hitter looks at a first pitch strike. Lamont Wade. out of the University of Maryland. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Curveball in the dirt. 0-2. Karinchak with his hands resting at the belt. Delivers. High heat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Karinchak, last year, he missed 2.5 months of the minor league season with a hamstring injury. When he was healthy, 22 strikeouts per 9 innings in the minors a year ago. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Got him. Karinchak has an off inning. He only strikes out 1. Middle of the 8th, 4-2 Cleveland. Twins 2. Bottom half of inning number 8. Carlos Santana, RBI single in the first. Since has flied and walked. The pitch to him, batting left-handed, breaking ball strike. Brad Hand getting ready to work the 9th. It'll be the bottom third in the Twins lineup with the Indians leading 8 by a score 4-2 here in the 8th. The set in the 0-1 pitch. Bullseye 0-2. In that first inning, Jose Ramirez singled, stole second and third on back-to-back pitches, and Carlos Santana knocked him in with a 2-out RBI single. Twins took the lead then in the second off Shane Bieber. The pitch. Down and away, 1-2. Luis Arraez, an RBI double. Max Kepler, an RBI single, but that's been it for Minnesota. Shane Bieber went 6, gave up 2 runs, struck out 10. Oliver Perez and James Karinchak, each with a scoreless inning. Then the Indians took the lead in the 6th. Frankie Lindor, 2-run homer to right. And Tyler Naquin, a pinch hit RBI double down the right field line. 4-2 Cleveland. Tribe getting to the Twins bullpen in the 6th. Now the 1-2 to Santana, and he fouled it back. We'll do it again at 1-2. 3 on the right side of the Twins infield. The third baseman Gonzalez playing like a shortstop. Carlos Santana, 10th year with the Indians. The pitch to him, and he drives one deep but foul down the left side. Indians got him from the Dodgers, one of those trades where the Dodgers were going for it all. Hard to believe it's been 12 years that the Indians traded the veteran Casey Blake for this young catcher. And what a career Carlos Santana's had in Cleveland. Now the 1-2. Down and away, changeup, 2-2. Indians have a club option on Santana next year. Well, he's become a leader, too, in the clubhouse. The 2-2 pitch. Checked on a breaking ball down low. Good slider, but Santana laid off at full count.
Right, he went through a lot in his early stages of his career, changing positions a couple of times. They tried him at third for a little while before moving over to first. It's not easy.
He's really worked hard, too, in learning the English language. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball got him. So Poppin gets his first strikeout, 1 down in the 8th. And Franmil Reyes, the batter, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. There's another guy, talk about coming from the Dominican and really working at the English language. That's why Reyes is such a popular teammate, because he can really relate to everybody, no matter what ethnicity you are, what language you speak. Franmil Reyes, the pitch. Inside, a slider that didn't slide much, ball 1.
He was saying last year when he first got to the States and started playing, he told his teammates, don't laugh at me when I'm trying to learn English. Help me learn the language, and I'll make the effort.
That he has done. The pitch, and it's in there, slider strike, 1-1. Four to 2 Indians. We're in the 8th. Poppin's ready. Here it comes. And Franmil takes a fastball underneath the arms. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Poppin with a high hold and pitch. Swung on, fouled him back of the plate. 2-2. Poppin's pitch. Swing and a miss. Chased the slider that was outside. Second strikeout for Poppin. Reyes is out, number 2 in the 8th. And Tyler Naquin got a big pinch hit RBI double in that 3-run 6th. 4-2 Cleveland here in the 8th. Poppin lets it fly. Naquin takes. It's outside. Ball 1. Now the 1-0. Fastball outside again. 2-0. The set and the next delivery, 3-0. Missed down low with a sinker. Now the 3-0 pitch. Bullseye, 3-1. The next delivery is swung on, a bouncing ball to second. Boy, that took a wicked hop. Came up around the shoulders. Arise stayed with it. Throws Naquin out, and we'll go to the ninth. For all of you along the network lines, hurry up, run down the hallway, get back into the studio. It's a 10-second Cleveland Indians station identification on the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
Over $100 million loss for one of Ohio's top universities. More after the game on News Radio WTAM 1100 Cleveland.
Tom Hamilton, Jim Rosenhaus, Brian Motze with you on a beautiful night off the shores of Lake Erie. Cleveland 4, Minnesota 2. Brad Hand on to try to nail down another save. Brad Hand has 7 on the year, a record of 0-1, a .470 ERA. His 10th outing, he has struck out a dozen in 7 innings of work. Fastball slider. Marwin Gonzalez will lead it off. Switch hitter batting right-handed. 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Dominant pitching again by the Indians tonight. The set by the lefty. The pitch is in there. Shane Bieber struck out 10 in 6 innings, giving up 2 runs. Oliver Perez and James Karinchak had wipeout innings in the 7th and 8th. Now it's in the hands, no pun intended, of Brad Hand. Bottom third of the Twins order. Hand delivers, and it's a little wide, 1-1. Brad Hand grew up in Chaska. That is southwest of downtown Minneapolis, one of the suburbs. Now the 1-1. Swung on, hit pretty well to center. Back goes to Shields, still drifting back onto the track, makes an over-the-shoulder catch. About a stride in front of the wall. Gonzalez gave it a ride, but it's a long first out in the 9th. Here's Luis Arraez. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Tough out. This kid's going to be a great hitter for a long time to come. Hand is ready. Here it comes. And it turned him away, a slider that almost caught the corner. Ball 1. In on the grass at third is Ramirez. The next delivery. And another slider down and in, 2-0. When Brad Hand has had difficulties this year, it's when he's working from behind. Then that slider is a pitch that hitters are not going to chase when the hitters count. Now the 2-0. Swung on, foul down the left side, and the count 2-1. Brad Hand, an all-star last year with 34 saves. He has not had a blown save this season. He's ready. Here it comes. Swung on, fouled back. And the count evens, 2-2.
Vargas on deck to pinch hit.
Ildemaro Vargas, a switch hitter's on deck to bat for the rookie catcher, Ryan Jeffers. Now the 2-2. Strike 3 called. Outside corner fastball. It looked like Arraez was looking slider, and he just couldn't pull the trigger on the fastball. Twins are down to their last out. 2 down in the 9th, with the Indians on top by a score, 4-2. And Vargas now the pinch hitter, a switch hitter, batting right-handed. Ildemaro Vargas. Two down. Tribe leads 4-2. Twins batting in the 9th with the bases empty. Shane Bieber, 1 out away from being 6-0. The set and pitch. And it's a slider that breaks inside, ball 1. The set. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yu Darvish of the Cubs leads the National League with 5 wins. Who would have thought that?
It sounded like for a while there he might just go home and not come back during the shutdown.
Here's the 1-1. Swinging a foul back. Twins down to their last strike. 1-2 the count. The Cubs have only been waiting about, 3 years for Darvish to figure it out?
Yeah, maybe that's all it took. He's kind of on defense about playing. And said, what the heck? Let's see what happens.
Shane Bieber 1 strike away from being the first 6-game winner in the major leagues. Brad Hand trying for his 8th save. 4-2 Cleveland. The pitch. Swung on a jam job, popped back foul and out of play. Hand is ready. The set, the 1-2. Swung on a weak ground ball outside of third, foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. Mike Clevenger and Jose Barrios. What a matchup tomorrow night. 7:10 first pitch. Turning point tonight, Rich Hill ran out of pitches and was out of the game. The Indians got to the Twins' pen. The pitch swung on a floater to right. Coming in is Naquin, makes the catch, ball game. And the Indians, after losing 4 in a row to the Minnesota Twins, come from behind tonight, and they beat the Twins by a final score of 4-2.